Welcome, teachers. My name is Christine Crosby, and I will be discussing one of the many classroom assessment techniques detailed in this book by Thomas Angelo and Patricia Cross, Interest, Knowledge, and Skills Checklists. In general, teachers use classroom assessment techniques to monitor learning throughout their course. They may use only one technique or several at different times during the course. The example and context I will be using is a course in baking, which I will be teaching in the future. When I filled out an online teaching goals inventory and answered the questions about this course, it was suggested that interest, knowledge, and skills checklists would be a good tool to use. So let's explore this particular tool. We will be moving through the information on an upwards curve, beginning with checklists at the bottom of the page. So this tool involves teachers creating a checklist based on the topics and the outcomes of the course and asking students to provide information to help direct the learning in the course. So again, we're asking about their interests, knowledge, and skills. In my course, we would ask the students to rate their interest in each of the lessons. So for example here, bread, muffins, and waffles. We would then ask them as well to rate their knowledge of particular techniques and knowledge of baking. And then we would ask them to rate their skills in particular tasks, such as preparation of different baking products. So in what contexts would this strategy work best? Definitely in a course where there is the flexibility to make changes to the course. So say an upper level or graduate course, trades and vocational, or night school or adult education. In an upper level undergraduate course or graduate course, such as a capstone course or an elective course, there may be the ability to make small changes based on the information provided by the students on these checklists. In trades and vocational, for example, there may be a carpentry course and an instructor will ask particular questions of the students so that they can base the material on their knowledge and make sure that they are starting at the right place and that there are no major gaps. And certainly other avenues of adult education or personal development, such as a night school course in birds. And for example, they may ask people if they're interested in identification or learning about the bird sounds. And it turns out that everyone is very good at identifying the birds, but everybody wants to learn about the bird sounds. So that would be of a help there. All right, so we're going to look and see what are some of the limitations of this strategy. Definitely there is some time in class that's required that the students fill in the checklists, and there is time required by the instructor to process the answers into a report. And of course, the instructor will also need to take time to make changes in the lessons. So what are the advantages of this strategy? It gives you a clear idea of your students' skills, knowledge, and interests coming into the course, and a baseline to compare against at the end of the course. What are the best practices for this strategy? That these checklists be administered either prior to the class or right at the beginning of the class, so say perhaps the first class within the course. That you use a simple, useful, and appropriate way to code the student responses, and that you make sure that you try your draft yourself first. And as always, it's always good to have the textbook near and be able to look back and look at examples in there, and that will show you some of the best practices as well. So how will we provide feedback to your learners? So the way that I would like to provide feedback to the students would be to talk to them about the results of that of the checklist, and try to match students so that you would have a more experienced student with a less experienced student, and explain to them why that might be the best approach within this course. And then summarize the results to the students and state if there will be any changes to the curriculum of the course. And of course, we would like to remind students that giving feedback during the course is a good idea to maximize their learning. We don't want them having any troubles and not saying anything. So we would encourage that openness. So this has been a short summary of the interest, knowledge, and skills checklists to be used as a classroom assessment technique. Thank you very much for your time.